What's up, guys? Welcome back to part two of our episode one of the Dadspective Show. In this part two, like we said there at the end of part one, Hawk and I are going to sort of just chat a little bit more about what life's been like with our kids and family in this lockdown. So Hawk, like your kids are a little older than me, 5 and 3, right?
Yep, 5 and 3. Riker's going to be 6 in less than a month now, which is really weird to me.
Yeah, and I have a 3 and 1 year old at home. So what's it been like? Because Riker's a little older, he can understand a little more. How's it been?
It's been pretty interesting. I love the brother and sister uh, relationship that they're building. Riker is ruthless, but also wants to teach her everything too. And Raven follows everything he does. She loves him, but also bugs him at the same time all the time. So life with the kids is always busy, always fun though. Uh, they're very active all the time, and they just want to beat me up all the time. So, how about you?
Um, it's been good, man. It's been really cool to see, like you said, like the brother sister relationship, because really, like, they only have themselves to play with. Like they're the only kids that they're interacting with on a daily basis.
Mhm.
So although like Nash is only 1 and Maya's 3, there's still that like relationship where like you can tell they're sort of relying on each other for different things. Um, like Maya, even though she's 3 and like you think that's so young, she like sort of understands what's going on, but like doesn't, because like we live out in the country. So like one of the things we would do all the time is go to parks and playgrounds and things like that. That's like a big thing for us to get out and go do. And when this all started, she'd be like, "Oh, can we go to the park and playground today?" And we'd be like, "Oh no, like it's closed. Sorry, we can't." Um, Luckily, I got a play set and built one out in the backyard so that we could keep her busy and keep doing things like that. But it's really hard to try to explain something like that to a 3-year-old. And like she was in preschool where she was going 3 days a week, and it's like, oh, you're not going to see your teacher and all your friends at school anymore either, right?
Mhm.
And it's easy for us to comprehend because we're adults. We like actually understand what's going on and why we're doing what we're doing. But for these kids, they're just listening to you, right? It's like when you tell them not to touch the stove because it's hot, they're not going to touch the stove because it's hot.
Mhm.
Uh, I just like I've really been wondering like how it's going to affect them coming out of it.
Yeah, how I approach Riker and Raven when it comes to stuff like this, or stuff like this. This is the first time it ever happened, but how I usually approach things is using logic. So breaking it down to a sense, like something that makes sense to them, right? So if we tell them, there's something going around right now that makes people really sick, and they know what being sick is like, and we don't want to get people sick because we don't want them to die or be even more hurt than they are, right? And they kind of understand that. So we one thing that they've been doing more is washing their hands more, like making sure that they're clean all the time, right? It's pretty cool. They still get dirty like any other kid, right? And that's part of being the kid. So yeah, just using for us is using logic as best we can to a level that they understand, which is kind of hard sometimes, right? Um, yeah, just breaking it down.
Yeah. Um, I know like one thing during all this for me, it's really given me a lot more appreciation for the wife and for what she does with the kids, because like pre-COVID, I was pretty busy. Uh, might not have been home every night for dinner or whatever. And like now being home more and seeing how like the day-to-day interactions go, it's just like I know how tired and how like exhausted I can be after just like the little bit that I'm with them. And it's like, man, you do this all day. Like great, you know, like awesome on you. So it's definitely given me a greater appreciation for what she does, taking care of them and everything like that around the house for sure.
Yeah, and shout out to all those parents that have to take care of their kids most of the time. And nothing against the other half too. Shout outs to you guys too. But yeah, they can drain your energy. I say it all the time. You could work out for 3 hours, 4 hours, easy. You spend 10 minutes with your kids when they're going crazy, you're done. Like you want to pass out because they just stole all your energy.
One of our friends, I want to give him a shout out, and I don't know how he does it day in and day out. Corey, who runs Fit
Oh,
Club,
gee.
the guy has 3 triplets, running a business at home because his wife is a frontline worker. Like, that man can do it. I don't know where he gets all his energy from. I don't know how he does everything he does, but he's definitely one of those dads that I look up to. And I'm like, all right, like if you think it's tough, just look what this guy's doing, because it's nothing compared to what he's probably going through, right?
Yeah, because his kids are probably around Maya's age, right?
Yeah,
I
Maya and
believe.
Raven, I think they're like
Yeah, Maya
roughly
and Raven.
around
Could you
that age.
imagine 3 Mayas or 3 Ravens? Oh, I'd be done.
By yourself too, right? Like, I know, I know,
So
but
cute though. So
yeah.
cute, but it's like, jeez, you gotta just.
Now, one thing we sort of chatted about there in part one, I know I see it a lot from you. You really bring the kids into the gym with you and like work out with them and get them to do that kind of stuff. Eh?
Yeah, that's big for us. Staying active is a big, big thing. Always trying to learn new skills and not being afraid to. Um, I know growing up for myself, it always took me longer to learn things, but once I get going and build that base, I can keep going. So like sometimes you got to teach them that, like, okay, you can't do it at first, try it again. Funny situation, well, not funny, but similar situation there. Riker was trying to learn how to climb a tree. So all the time he's on the rings all the time in the gym, right? So obviously he's built up really good grips, decent body weight strength, and kids already have decent body to strength ratio, but it's cool to see him like hang all the time and think it's normal. He's swinging all the time, all the time. So he went to go try to climb a tree and he said, "Oh, I don't have the grips for this. I don't have this and this. I don't have this strength." I'm like, "Just try it, buddy, because I know you have the strength to do it. I know you have the grips to do it, right?" So day one, I had to help him up, spot him, whatever, right? Day two, okay, he got up to the first part by himself. By the end of the week, he was just climbing all the way up the tree by himself. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's amazing.
a little bit of mental, but a little bit of plugging away at that something that you can't do, and know that if you put energy to it, you're gonna do it, and that starts young. And like you see it with the kids all the time. That's what inspires me when I look at my kids. I'm like, geez, these kids are still learning every single day. Like their words are getting better. Everything's getting better. It's pretty
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. Like one thing you said before too, and I'm a big believer in it too, is leading by example, right? So, like a lot of times I work out when we put Maya to sleep. So a lot of times I'll say like, "Oh, good night. I'm going to work out," because she'll play the game where like she wants you to come back in 100 times to keep saying good night. So I'm like, "All right, this is it. Good night. Dad is going to work out." So I really enjoy it when I can bring her in here with me and do stuff with me, because like it's one thing to tell her you're doing it, but then it's another thing to like see you doing it. And then we do like fun stuff together, like squats, jumping jacks, like push-ups, like just like easy stuff like that, right? And then it's cool just to like watch her do it, and then she'll even joke sometimes and be like, "Okay, I'm going to do my workout," and then she just starts doing some squats and jumping jacks. And I
Yeah.
think it's cool because like at this young age, you're engraving these habits into them, these healthy habits that I think are really important And I think it helps them in different aspects of their life as well, not just working out, right?
Yeah, and I like the confidence. Like when I see somebody like Riker, like my son, learn something, he wants to teach it to another kid. He loves it because he's confident with it now, right? And I like that he'll learn that early too. That you don't have to like hoard your skills, so to speak, right? You don't have to be like, oh, I'm the man and that's it, right? Uh, it's good to help others, to build yourself up too, to get better, and get somebody to push you too, right? And I see that all the time with his nephew, like, sorry, my nephew, his cousin, and Raven all the time is, he'll learn a skill and then get confident with it when he couldn't do it before. Now he can, and then he teaches his nephew, sorry, his cousin and my daughter, right? So I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I know, like, one thing definitely, all of this has really just made me realize how much I enjoy watching them, like, just live life, like I could sit out with a coffee and just watch them do their thing and just like pick up and learn so much from them. And it's one thing I think I took for granted from before, and now that I've really been like soaking it in and seeing it, I know it's definitely something that I'll continue doing, like coming out of this too. Like that's going to be one of the top, like you and I always talk about our priority triangles and like what we always have to do, and then like the things that just fall into place after that. But this is definitely going to be one of those top things for me where it's going to be a priority, and everything else that I used to make a priority is now going to be in that back burner. And this is going to be the thing that's definitely going to be number one going forward.
You almost have a new dadspective, I would say.
For sure. And that's what this is all about, right? This is our perspectives on what life is like with little ones and busy lives and the busy lives that we live. And yeah, like what it's like having kids, how to balance it, how we deal with it. I realized that I wasn't balancing it or putting as much effort into it as I thought I was previous to this. So it's good. It's good that it's like I said at the very beginning, taking the positives and coming out with it, right? Like, yeah, it sucks I wasn't like that before, but now I know I can change and I can be better going forward.
Yeah, and like you said, it's now like how are you going to change from this, right? It's not, oh, I was this and this and this before. That's all good, but it's what you're going to take from this and what are you going to do. I think counting your blessings is a huge part, so you can strategize and motivate yourself to do something that you were afraid of before, right? Maybe you want to go to the gym or do this or do that. I see a lot of people are like, soon as this COVID thing's done, I'm gonna go do this. And to me, I love that, and that's something that everybody needs, that little push, right? They're like, oh, I have all the time in the world. I have my whole life to do this thing. Why not do it now, though? Right? You want to do it. You say you want to do it. Then let's go. Let's do it. When this thing's nice and cleared up, hopefully people will follow through with what they say, and we see a lot of I see a lot of really motivated, hungry people already. I'm excited to see if that continues on for the rest of their life.
For sure. For sure. And how much longer coming out of this it'll last? Like, will it be 1 month, 2 months, or will it just continue to be going? So one thing Hawk also mentioned there in part one was Q&A sessions on Instagram or online. One thing that we really want to do, and we want to do it at least once a week, is we want to answer your questions. We want to help you guys out. Do you have questions about fatherhood? Do you have questions about how we balance things out? Do you have fitness questions? Do you have nutrition questions? Like, we just want to like do these little Q&A sessions every now and then where we're going to take all the questions that you guys give us and we're going to answer them and I'll give my perspective on what the question is and my answer is. Hawk will give his perspective on it, and try to help you guys out and give you guys as much information as we can.
And another thing that we're going to do is when Dan and I get together, when things get better, We're gonna go on live with a few of you guys when it's those Q&A days. So it'd be pretty cool to see people over live and maybe different parts of the world. That'd be pretty cool too. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good, and hopefully you guys pick up a few tips, and hopefully we can learn from you guys too.
100%, because that's what it's all about. We're here. I'm learning from Hawk. He's learning from me, and we're learning from you guys. And that's how this world works. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. And that's how you push yourself to be better every single day. We're really excited for the new show, the rebranding. We're excited for what we have for you guys this first season. It's going to be a lot of Hawk and I talking, but we're going to try to get some guests on every now and then too. Just interview some like awesome dads or some awesome people in our community, like we were doing with the old show. And we really want you guys to be involved, and we really want to hear from you. And if there's anything you want us to talk about, or if there's different subjects like about your kids or relationship with your wife or being a dad or just being a human in general or fitness or whatever it might be, just throw them our way, because we're excited to tackle anything that you guys throw at us.
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Um, so we've been calling this like, so sorry, I gotta explain it first. So I call it the daddy motivation, right? So since Riker was born, like the first second that I saw my son born, I was like, I'd die for him. I just met him. I'll die for him. I'll do whatever it takes for him, right? So I call that the daddy motivation. How often do you use the daddy motivation? Because I know you do nowadays, especially with all the things that are going on and trying to stay sane and hungry.
Every day, man. I'm going to say like every single day. Like, the reason why I wake up and get after it and do everything I do in the day is because, one, I want to be the leader for my family that I am. Two, I want to set a good example for my kids and show them that hard work pays off and things can get done. And three, I want them to see how much I love them and everything I do for them, like when I'm working out in the gym, yes, it's for me, but at the same time, it's to make myself healthier so I can live longer, so I can have a longer life with them, right? When you wake up and grind every morning, like, sure, it'd be nice to sleep in. Like, so here's an example for you. Like, Nash on the weekends, he usually wakes up around like 6:30 or so. And I always like to wake up half an hour to an hour before him. Like, I usually wake up at 5:30 every morning anyways. But I wake up early so I get my me time in so that I can be the best version of myself for him when I wake him up in the morning. Because I've noticed those mornings where I wake up when he wakes up, those things just like aggravate me a little more and you get a little frustrated easier, right? So the daddy motivation for me is making sure I wake up early so that I can get my mind right and get myself good to go so that I can then be the best version of myself for him and for Maya and for everyone else in the day. So yeah, man, for me, it's every single day. It's always there. What about you?
Every second. And guys, the people who aren't dads or guys in general, right? So it's finding that thing that you love unconditionally, right? Whether it's your family, friends, yourself, even, right? uh and like you said, it's unlocking, find that motivation to unlock the best self. You know what I mean? So like for me, every second, every move I make is for them. um Making myself better is trying to make them better too, right? Like you said. Yeah, I don't stop thinking about them. Everything I do, I'm like, I can do this for, you know what I mean? So I since the first second of becoming a dad, nonstop.
I'm right there with you. It's like you can't explain it. It's hard to explain to someone that it's never happened to you before, but it's like a switch turns on in your body, and like you just get electrified, and it's like, all right, it's go time.
Yeah, how I say it's beyond me. It's just like beyond myself. It's not just for me anymore. It's like it's like you have to have enough you for more than just you. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure, man. For sure.
So you
All right.
still can't explain it. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to part 2. We really hope you enjoyed these last 2 episodes. We got a lot in store for you this season. And like we said, this isn't just for dads, this is for everyone. If you listen, you're going to learn a lot, and we're here to help you get better. And by listening to our perspectives on life, I think we can help you out. So, thanks again for everyone and all our fans and everyone who supported us with Ivy League Mindset. We're really excited for this, and we hope you stay with us for this journey.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.